Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Oquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll. Okay, so the video is going to cut out for full 30 seconds of me laughing, but I think using our rule of it's funny, it stays,
Yes.
that opening is going to stay for the audio.
It absolutely is. You really got to be a little faster with hitting that start button.
Now I can hear you. I don't know. And I missed everything you just said because I don't know why my...
Good.
Oh. Like I'm not going to immediately listen to it. Just, yeah.
Okay. So, what episode number is this, Chris?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 254, recorded on March 27th, and will be airing on April 10th, just after Intergroom.
Okay. So, someone's got a dog in the background.
Someone's got a dog in the background, and I figured out why I wasn't hearing you, and buttons and hookups, and it's okay. Everything's fine. Yeah, Alaric is joining me today, so you're going to hear lots of "Hey, get out of there, sir," because you know.
All right, so
got issues.
Topic for today was sort of like, I guess, the brainchild, because we did a live stream, well, last night to us recording this today, but a couple of weeks ago. And I found it like really, really interesting. So what I wanted to talk about first was everybody learns differently. And I think we have a responsibility, especially for our continuing education, to understand how we personally learn so that we could take advantage and choose the right type of continuing education for us.
Yeah, because everybody's a little different, and I mean, there are some free options for continuing ed out there, but most of it is not. Like most of it you pay for, the really in-depth stuff.
Yeah, but even before we get into like, how to save and stuff like that.
Well, no, I just mean if you're paying for stuff, you want to be able to use it well. Like don't waste your money.
Exactly. Okay, so know how you learn. All right. So for me, my go-to way of learning is I like to read something and read about it, and then I go do it.
Yeah. Hands-on is very important to me, which is frustrating when I'm reading about like metals and steel, and I'm like, I want to go to a forge. That's not practical or ever going to happen. But
okay, now let's back up a little bit. Why won't that happen?
Oh, well, no, it probably will at some point, but not like as a major thing, not like as a day-to-day. I'm not going to become a blacksmith, even though the ADD part of my brain is like, you could do that in the backyard. There was a dude on Forged in Fire from the next town over who did shit in his backyard. You could totally do that too. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm just here Googling Metal Forge, New Jersey. Let's see what comes up. Forge sheet metal, blacksmithing classes in New Jersey.
Yeah, we're not the biggest state, but we're not the smallest either.
Hold on a second. Blacksmithing classes in New Jersey, 2024. The website is called Working the Flame. So it's near New York City and Philadelphia. That's what they're saying.
Okay, New York City and Philadelphia are America close to each other, meaning they're 2 to 3 hours apart.
Okay, where is Layton, New Jersey compared to you?
I don't fucking even know. Spell that for me. L-A-Y.
Layton. Here, I'm finding Chris Education. And this is how easy it is, by the way. Okay. It's also Cape May, New Jersey is another one.
It is only about an hour away.
Farmingdale, New Jersey.
Now, Mary, the point I was also trying to make is, and we're contradicting points here. We're trying to say that education should be accessible and you have no excuses. However, I have ADD tendencies, to put it mildly, and already have 34 things on my plate at any given moment. Do I need to do this?
Princeton, New Jersey is another.
You want me to get divorced. You want me to get divorced. My husband's like, I never see you already.
Trying
to be a blacksmith.
Is that you want to learn something?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. It is starting off really easily with a Google search. But however, getting back to the original point, how do you learn? Okay. So for me, all right, reading and then doing. So I have to read first.
Yeah.
Just don't put me in front of something and say, here, I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm going to be like, that's all well and good, but I kind of need to understand what it is I'm doing before I do the thing. That's me. Okay. Which is part of the reason why I like doing online and in-person workshops, because I can hear also as well, which is another way people learn, is auditory. But damn it, Chris, give me a book.
Mm.
Here's the thing too, right? When I'm reading for pleasure, it's audible. But when I'm reading to learn, it's a book.
Mary, there's a blacksmith 25 minutes from me. You suck. You suck. I just, please, I hope everyone knows, and especially Mary, that I say that with the deepest love. Fucking A. Anywho.
So getting back, so there's different ways and different styles of how somebody learns. Now, like if you have like, see, and I'm not 100% like executive dysfunction. So you go into the neurodiverse, and one of the things is executive dysfunction. And now I'm gonna have to look it up because I brought it up.
And by the way, for people with some types of learning and executive dysfunction, Google is like simultaneously the greatest thing ever and the worst, because it will interrupt everything.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing with executive dysfunction. It has the inability to complete tasks. All right. So time blindness, trouble organizing, staying on schedule. So for that, you know what, maybe something that is organized in small chunks. So somebody who is teaching something, but it's small chunks, like maybe 15, 20 minutes. And there are instructors who do that. There are programs like, I guess probably what comes to my mind is things that are like on Teachable or Kajabi. Because the way that is set up is they're set up like in small little, like, oh, I'm not going to say mini videos because that's not what I mean, is that it's the way especially Teachable is set up is that it's one topic, they discuss it. They tend to be really short videos. Anything I've ever taken on Teachable, it's been, I don't know, 15, 20. I think the most has ever been like 25-minute videos, right? So it's smaller pieces. Now, the other thing too, though, with videos is you could stop and start them. So you don't necessarily have to watch an hour video all in one shot, right? So before you sit and decide on what continuing education you want to do, understand how you learn and what it is you have to do to make that a learning experience for you.
And I also find that if I'm watching a video, it depends what I'm looking to learn, like why I'm watching that video. If I need to know, if I'm want to learn how to do something out of like intellectual curiosity, or say a grooming video where I need to see things, I can watch a video. If I need to know how to cook something, how to fix something immediately, where I'm like, I want to know this now, where I would prefer to read it. If you show me a how-to video on how to fix something, I will want to stab out my eyeballs. It will, in my house, it is a measure of frustration on how annoyed I am at something that I'm actually watching the video on how to do it versus reading it.
Okay. All right. There's also, and I'm just a little sometimes guilty of this too, of being able to focus on what it is you're doing. And sometimes focusing on one thing can be really difficult when you're going, well, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. Brain just operates, I'm gonna say, like in multi-dimensions.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in order to focus on what I'm doing, if I'm watching something, sometimes I need, and I know those fidget toys do nothing for me. Okay. Sometimes it's just
As Chris pulls out a fidget toy.
hold on.
There are times when I have to do a fidget toy because my husband gets really frustrated when we're watching TV and we're watching something that I said I wanted to watch, or a movie, and I'm then on my phone, because doing just one thing is just, it's very difficult. It is painfully difficult. So that's where fidget toys help me.
And so fidget toys, and I got a ton of them, they don't do anything for me. So again, same problem, but we need two different solutions. All right. So sometimes it's just having a piece of paper and a pen and just doodling, okay, while I'm listening, allows me to then focus on what it is that I'm doing. So if that is your issue, then you're going to take a class, bring a fidget toy, bring a pen and paper, and whatever it is, that so that you can focus on what it is that you're watching. Okay.
Yeah.
So are we time for a commercial?
Oh, yes. I was so focused. I was so focused on our conversation that we just kind of talked a couple minutes. But yes, it's time for commercial. So Mary, instead of hitting a button, I have to tell you about a conversation that happened in my house yesterday. Because apparently I talk about my work a lot. And I got my hands on a pair of the new Evolution Shears Diamond Dust line, and where we talk about learning, and I fall down learning rabbit holes about steel, which is where the whole blacksmithing thing came in. So I'm using these scissors on a Kerry Blue, and my husband's sitting there, and I go, you know, honey, I'm still convinced that these scissors don't actually cut hair, which is a little weird thing to say since he's watching me cut hair with them. And he looks at me and goes, does the hair just commit suicide and fly off the dog when it sees the shears coming? And I went, yes, it does. It does. It either commits suicide and jumps off the dog, or just falls off in a dead swoon when it sees the shear come and goes, whoa, because holy crap, it makes a difference. It makes it, and listen, all of my Evolution shears are fantastic and they're wonderful, but this is my first pair of like truly expensive high-end shears, and it's absolutely different. It's worth it. And You gotta, when you're in Tacoma, Mary, you gotta just get a pair of these in your hands to feel them. I know you didn't have time in Atlanta. I know you don't groom anymore, but you gotta feel this.
Yeah, but Abby had them locked up in a case.
Well, yes, all of our shears are locked up because evolution shears need to be custom fit to your hand. So if you just grab them off, if you grab swivel shears off a table that aren't fit to your hands and don't have the right inserts in them, they're not going to feel right.
Okay.
So you have to say, hey, put a pair of those in my hand. There you go. Yeah, all of our shears tend to be locked down at trade shows because they're extra talented and have been known to just
Walk off on their.
wander off to cut hair on their own.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So back to topic.
Back to
Right.
topic. So, I mean, we're talking. We really have two different parts of the topic, and the first is learning styles and recognizing how you learn.
Okay.
And oh, go ahead.
So, but there's also for people who live shows can be really high energy.
Yep.
High energy to the point where you can become overwhelmed. I was at the Atlanta Pet Fair, and there was a groomer who was just like outside the groomer hall, and she was just like rocking herself because it was just so overwhelming to be on the trade show floor. Okay. That also can impact how you learn. Right. If you're so overwhelmed and have high anxiety, then anything that you're taking a class of is going to be really hard to digest that information.
Yeah. So yeah, in-person learning doesn't work well for everybody because there can be a lot of distractions. So if you have issues with learning, and I know a lot of people who have gone into grooming who are like, I don't test well. I don't like this because I don't test well. That's one of the reasons I became a groomer, because it's not as much of the written testing and stuff.
Okay. All right. So then that brings into, writing, auditory. So whatever thing that you're learning, there's going to be an audio portion to it that's speaking, visual, you can see what's going on. For those who are very visual learners, demos at trade shows can be really good. Okay. In fact, demos tend to be much shorter. What is the average demo time, like on the floor?
See, on the floor, I want to say it's about 20 minutes.
Okay.
20 minutes, half hour max. On the floor, you'll have anything from 15 minutes to a half an hour. You are not going to have a full hour. There are classroom demos, which are an hour, but they're a little more, still, I want to say easily digestible, because there's going to be some talking. It's not like watch someone groom for a straight hour. It's going to be like, this is what we're going to do. What would you like to see on this dog, depending on what type of demo it is. So there's going to be like explanation and breaking down of what they're doing.
All right. So if you need those smaller chunks in order to, absorb the information, then maybe instead of doing the 1 hour workshops is to get a list of whatever the demos are. And usually the booths will have a list or like a chalkboard or something, and we'll have the times and
Yes. Sometimes they will be listed on the program. Sometimes as you walk the trade show floor, you'll tell which booths have demos, because they will have a table set up somewhere with some grooming stuff, and they'll usually have signage. And for those of you watching on YouTube, to explain my face, I hope there's not fresh poop anywhere in my office, and it's just that my dog let out a massive fart right where the air intake for the portable heater is, that then sucked it in and blew it at me. But Yeah, there was some gassiness. Life with dogs is fantastic. All right, shall I hit a button and we get back on track for commercials?
You
That wasn't
should.
that wasn't a full 10 minutes, but we should get back on the track and stuff. The track, like we're on the train. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel. Taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse, these super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets. And now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomers sent you. All right, Mary, keep talking for a minute. I have to check something paranoia-wise.
Okay, so I'm a huge fan. I take education wherever I can get it. I'll just leave it at that. Part of the reason I do love the trade shows is because I can sit in a workshop for an hour. I have no issue with that. I probably have more issue with like the little shorty demos than an hour workshop. I would much rather sit in that hour workshop than a 15-minute demo. Explain that, Chris.
It's how you process information. You need a little bit more because you are so very neurotypical and you need to sit there and focus for the hour and absorb the whole thing versus someone who prefers it in bites and snippets of information.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a
So,
wild guess.
okay. So the point being is that live education isn't just trade shows, by the way. Live education is someone coming into an area, maybe a shop is bringing them in, maybe the state association is bringing them in. And they tend to be smaller groups, maybe 10-ish people would sound about right at a shop.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, I'm gonna say 15 would be max, unless it's like a really huge shop. It's usually in the 10 range, 10 to
As
15
opposed to 50 to 100 people being in
at a trade show. Yeah.
okay. So, and usually if you're taking a class that's put on by a shop or an association, you pretty much know everybody there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It might just be all your coworkers or, friends, but it's, I think, more of a smaller community.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's not that added in of, oh, I'm sitting with people I don't know. What if they talk to me?
Well, but playing devil's advocate, you might have more of that at a small shop. Hopefully you'll know at least one person, though. If it's local groomers, you should know at least one person, but there is a greater likelihood of the people talking to you.
Okay. And so here's me. I'm very extroverted.
Yeah.
I am very extroverted, but I'm also an extrovert that, leave me alone too. I mean,
Yes.
I work here in my office and never see anybody, and then go to a trade show and be a total social butterfly.
And even extroverts need like recharge time, because that's why Mindy and I work so well together at the shows. Like we will work all day and then we'll go back to the room and literally we'll get back to the room and not say a damn word for like 20 solid minutes, 20 minutes, half hour. We'll be like, what time is breakfast? What time is, and that's it, because we're just like, there was so much talking. It was great and we love it. But at the same time, like we can just shut down so we can sleep and pull it down.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing too. I hardly go to the industry parties, or if I do, it's there to sort of like show my face, like I was there, and then go. But you know what? They saw me, so I'm good. I can go.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm actually gonna go to the party that in the many things on me are not working properly this week, and I will also address that when it comes to learning later. But Super Zoo, the party, I almost never go to the party, partially because I stay off site, and I'm cool with staying off site because Super Zoo is such an overwhelming show. We like having a little secret oasis. But this year I'm going just to speak and not going with Evolution Cheers because of some of the scheduling mishaps with the Chicago show. So
It kind of depends on, because we do the first aid classes there. So they got us doing 3 pet first aid classes.
yeah.
It kind of depends if it's on, what day is the party? You know? It kind of depends, because you know, if it's the first day, they'll be like, yeah, I still have vocal cords. You know, but if it's on the third day, I'm like, you know what, I have just spoken for 3 straight days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's been a pleasure, but I'm going to bed. I'll see you people in the morning.
I want to say it's usually on the first or second day.
I don't, they're midweek, so it's hard to, what is actually the first day?
Thursday. Oh, wait, I'm not. I am not going to the beach party because the beach party is Thursday, August 15th, and I will already be in Chicago at that time.
Okay.
So we're flying directly from Super Zoo, where I want to say our classes are either Tuesday or Wednesday. I think Tuesday.
I don't know. All right.
So I won't be at the beach party. So the party is like, oh, I'm kind of bummed now.
But I have seen a lot of very introvert people who I know to be introverted.
Yeah.
Having a real good time at those industry parties.
They are really, really, really fun. And that's some of the beauty of these industry parties is you can go as an introvert and you're like, okay, first of all, if you want to or get dragged there, emphasis on the dragged there, you know, there will be extroverted people in your industry that you'll want to talk to, kind of want to talk to, but they will approach you. Your friends will help drag you. It's fun. And there's always alcohol involved.
Yeah.
So sometimes after 2 drinks, you're like, I can chat with anyone.
Yeah. I saw some meme that introverts don't make friends. They're adopted by an extrovert.
Yes. And there's another, it's a video that my husband sends me once every couple of months, just as a reminder. And it's, you've probably seen it. It's a cat at a vet's office, and they're trying to get the cat out of the cat carrier. And like the top is off, and the cat's just like, and then like holding on to, and it says, my introverted husband, when I remind him of plans we made like a month ago, or trying to get him out of the house.
Now, here's the thing. So my husband hates going anywhere, but if he goes, he's the friggin' life of the party.
I have stopped trying to make excuses for my introvert husband because several times I bring him out. I'm like, he's really quiet. He's he's a little shy, just to be like, to prep people. And the next day when I see those people at work or something, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was lovely. And I tell him this, and he's like, well, just because I know how to act in public doesn't mean I want to.
Okay. All right, moving along.
Moving
Okay.
right along. So, Mary, were we talking about continuing education?
Could be.
And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis World Class Education Team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer Podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education. You like how I did that, Mary? I just kind of slid that right in there.
Very nice. That was very so where were we? So there's other means of education. Okay. So the first one is online stuff. And I just want to caution, not everything online is quality education.
Can we talk about YouTube here?
Ah,
Can we talk about YouTube here? Because, I mean, everybody with a smartphone and a dream can now be on YouTube. So, yeah, not all of it is going to be quality education. It's just not.
yeah. Look at their handling skills. And here's the thing too.
I'm laughing because I was trying not to say a specific name. And then you said, look at their handling skills. I'm like, she's talking about that person.
Well, I'm probably talking about a couple people.
Well,
okay.
I don't have favorites. So.
All right. Here's the thing. If you find somebody, let's just say at YouTube, and you're thinking, oh my God, please, this person shouldn't be there. Okay? So what do you do about that? If you comment on it or watch it, brings their views up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So YouTube, and I'm sure Instagram and TikTok is very similar, that the more the video is watched, the higher in the ranking it gets, and they can actually earn money on it. So exercise caution.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're getting as anything that is free. Okay. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Okay. Sometimes it's meant, free stuff is simply meant to wet your whistle.
Yes.
So and more, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because generally is they're going to teach you a thing. You want to learn more, pay me.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fine. All right. People who teach should get paid. And people who teach and they're not getting paid, they're getting paid. Okay.
By somebody. Okay. Should we talk about their fluff bunnies? It's like, oh my God. Look what he just found. I groomed an Afghan hound today, for those of you not watching. And this is like, I had scheduled to clean my grooming salon after we recorded tonight. So I just got the dog off the table. I ran her home and my dog just brought me this big thing of hair that was from a hairbrush from the Afghan hound, and some foot trimmings and some just dust he managed to find. I don't understand.
Well, she's keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, apparently. He's like, you should have vacuumed immediately, Ma. You know better. Shut up. I'm having a bad week, Alric. You know this. Where the hell was I? Oh,
there's someone that getting paid.
Oh,
Okay, but let's look at some of the positive. Sometimes they have a sponsor and they do the video,
Yes.
and the sponsor pays them. Okay.
Yes.
All right, that's one legitimate way. So I guess the only point is, if you're gonna get free education on YouTube, and here's the thing, I love YouTube. I really do. And even I notice, and I think most of us can note bad information. Most of us. So when I was getting information about greenhouses and stuff like that, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, me and my husband just watching stuff, watching designs. And on more than one occasion, we're like, yeah, that is not a really good idea. That person's going to get themselves electrocuted in short order. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So what they had a lot of views on it. People were obviously watching it. Okay.
People were probably watching it, waiting for them to get electrocuted so they could watch that one too.
I guess the point is that there is lots of good information on YouTube, but there is no like rating system on it. You're gonna have to weed through it and find people that you can trust the information from. I guess that is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. And part of the problem with online research is you will find a lot of conflicting views, because there's conflicting views out there. There's probably more than one way to, I'm going to pick something I know I suck at, so I might watch, bevel a cockerfoot. I absolutely stink at bevels so badly. Don't allow me to come near a bevel. So I'd probably watch a lot of videos on it. I'm sure there would be a few different ways to do it. Conflicting views doesn't always make it one of them better, makes it better for that person, except when you're talking about scientific information. That's oh, Mary, can I digress for a minute?
Go for it, Chris.
My poor mother. We haven't really digressed, except with my dog finding all the dust bunnies in my salon for me, because he's helping. My poor mother has been researching anti-Alzheimer's diets, like how to diet to beat Alzheimer's. And she is just now massively running into the whole conflicting views. She's like, well, one person says eat a lot of seafood because it has a lot of something in it. And I said, omega-3 fatty acids. Yeah, that was it. And another one says don't eat any seafood because it has a lot of something, pollution, mercury. Yes, that was it. So she's now, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So yes, you can find a lot of good free information online, but you have to sift through a lot of stuff too. Because there's going to be a lot of dross in there, and there's going to be a lot of crud along with some absolute gems.
When I was in college and I was on the debate team, one of the exercises we had to do is that we had to argue for something we felt strongly against. And we had to go and find the research to back it up. It had to be legitimate. That's how we were. And let me tell you something. You could find scientific studies, you could find essays, you could find political dissertations, for anything you want. Whatever thing that you want to push, I will guarantee you will find information backing that up. That was a real eye opener for me. And let's go back to like 1980.
Yeah.
This is not a new concept of people twisting information. It's made a lot easier because you know what? I had to go to like a library to get that information, and I had to go on to get that. So it
Oh
wasn't.
my God, microfiche. Do they even have microfiche anymore? Does it exist?
I don't
Do
know.
youngins, okay.
For the youngins out there. So it wasn't like I just hit Google and stuff would come up. I had to actually find it, but the point being, it was there to be found.
Yeah, but the effort you needed to put in to find it was the equivalent of walking to school uphill both ways in a snowstorm every time, 5 miles. Like, for you youngins who have never used microfiche, God bless you and your obviously stellar eyesight. That's the real reason so many of us Gen Xers now wear glasses. It's not age, it's because we had to do our research and look up stuff on microfiche.
Yeah. And card catalogs. Let's not forget those.
Well, card catalogs were just tedious. Since I actually always did have bad eyes, but like I always had a astigmatism, so microfiche and trying to get that focus just right was particularly joyful. But yeah, we had to learn the Dewey Decimal System and card catalogs and figure that shit out and find it.
Right. So if I can go to Google and let's just say I want to Google how to build a car. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
well,
just
you
put that in and I'll get lots of stuff in. However, that's not the way it works with a card catalog.
no. No, you had to know already things like, oh, do I look up car manufacturing? Auto repair, different than car manufacturing. Building hobby cars, like all those are three different categories that could be filed in different places.
Yeah. So anyway.
Anyway, it's whew, we got all heated, and I'm going to hit a button, Mary, and give my eyes a rest because I swear they started crossing and twitching just talking about microfiche. What if I told you could have a year's worth of online education for less than the cost of one in-person trade show? That's right. For only $97 a month, you have access to a different 2-day educational conference with 10 hours of material taught by the best in the industry. Every month has a new theme that includes anything from grooming skills to business and everything in between. Can't catch it live or just want to rewatch it? Recordings are available for 6 weeks with closed captioning for both live and recordings with transcripts. What are you waiting for? Grab your membership today at positiveed.com.
Okay, one thing I just kind of want to add to that, which we don't really talk about too much with Positive Ed, but there's an entire mastermind pre-recorded library that goes along with this. It's not just 2 days of online workshops. There is, because I counted them the other day, there's 49 pre-recorded workshops in the mastermind library. Anyway, just saying. But that brings up a good point about, $97 a month. How do you afford continuing education? Right? Whether you go online or whether you go in person or whatever, it still costs money. How do you plan for that? Okay. So I had broken it down one time and I had estimated, all right, so like my online membership, that's $1,200 for the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had estimated the cost of a trade show. All right. I had estimated it to be on average $1,300. And I broke it down for a do-it-all pass for them is like what, $400? If you share a room with somebody, a hotel room, that's like another $400 for the couple of days, right?
Yep.
That's $800. You got to get there, gas and food, right? So I
And
had
you got to
budget.
count food, even if you don't count gas. And even if you are being super frugal with food, say you bought the do it all because it includes some food and you're hitting a grocery store instead of eating out at every single meal, you're still spending like $1.50 on food, 100 if you're being extra cheap.
100 of you are being extra cheap, but most of us are going out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to estimate probably more like 250. Okay, because
Oof.
it's not just the dinners and the meals.
Yeah.
It's buying the soda on the trade show floor, which is like $5 freaking.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. There is what. See, I come from a long line of frugal cheap ass people, and I don't always follow those, but that's where it comes out because I will be like, I have $150 meal budget, and that's going to work. I usually keep it very close to that.
All right. And so you have to account, it's going to cost you something to get there.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, and they're always going to have water and water coolers out and available. So you don't have to buy that $5 soda.
And I'm not
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
including buying stuff at trade shows because that's a whole other line item in the budget.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, I had totaled it up and came up to about $1,300 with travel and food and hotel and actually taking the education. So if you add those two together, that's $2,500 a year, right?
Oof. Yeah.
Now that sounds off the top of the head, that sounds like a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so over the course of, I like easy math. All right, I'm going to say you're going to work 50 weeks a year. And how much is that, Chris? 50 divided by
There was a hair in that.
math, Chris, math.
What am I?
2,500 divided by 50. 2,500 divided by 50. Why am I getting an error? 2,500 divided by 50 equals
50.
$50. I got a problem here because my phone calculator keeps saying error. Now, why is that doing that?
Because 2,500 divided by 50 doesn't seem like it should be 50. It seems like a trick question. I don't know. All those math people are mocking me wildly right now, and I'm all right with that.
At the word error. Yeah. Okay, so that's $50 a week. Okay. So how many pets, let's say an average shop grooms on a given week?
I still am dealing with hairball here, Mary.
All right, let's just say 25 dogs a week. Be somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah, sure.
It means $2 a dog or a cat. You put aside $2 for every pet you groom, and that can literally be just tip money.
Can I help you, dog?
Or here's one: raise your prices by $2. Put that money in an education fund.
Ooh.
So now you have the money to go to one trade show plus a full year of online education. Does that all of a sudden seem doable?
Yeah. Because I think breaking it down to like $2-3 a dog makes it more durable than even $50 a month.
Yeah.
Because you got to break it down like per day. Actually, I think I could do per day. So wait, it's 50 per month divided by, say, 30. Oh, that's like $2 a day, $1.60 a day. If you put aside $2 a day.
Yeah, $2 a day. And you could have a full year plus one trade show.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Moving that along.
Moving right along. Do. Because, it is time for our last commercial break.
Go.
So now I got to get there. And boom. Hanvi Engineering isn't just for mobile groomers. I have loved my Hanvi equipment for years before I even thought of getting a mobile van, and I wouldn't want to groom without my bathing beauty and hair vac. With every piece of equipment in their van and outside of it having its own QR code linked to troubleshooting tips and fixes, these low-maintenance workhorses turn potential roadblocks into mere speed bumps. Check them out yourself at hanvi.com. Ta-da! So I also wanted to mention when we're talking about learning and being able to process things, that mood 100% affects that.
Okay.
Because I have had the most, let me do a self-check. I'm going to mention something and then move right along, just for myself. I am backed up on editing podcast episodes because I have been depressed all week. It is all week. It's Wednesday. I lost Loki, my cat, on Saturday, and I have not been right. By the way, Mary, I find it ironic that I got to talk to you about it. I got a email the other day from Erica from Wolfie's Wish, who we had as a guest on a while ago. So I'm like, well, that was timely. But have I been able to bring myself to reply to her? Also, no. Have I been able to force myself to sit down and do work that involves concentration? Not really. So knowing yourself and knowing that if you're going through a tough time or you're going to have issues concentrating, maybe that's not the time to be listening unless to stuff online or going to a trade show, unless you 100% know it will distract you or you think it will pull you out of your funk, because sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So that affects mood, can affect memory and how you're going to retain that information. So just kind of as a know yourself, know what's going on with you kind of situation.
Right. So I would then invite people to take a good look at themselves, understand how it is they learn, and then choose the best method that works for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If that's watching something, reading something, listening to something, writing it down and taking notes. I do very well with auditory processing. If I need to learn something, I can listen, but I'll usually, if I'm multitasking, need to listen like 2 to 3 times. If I listen and write it down, it's in there. It's in there. It's not going places. But that's doing more than one thing, technically more than one thing at a time, which is how my brain apparently functions slightly. But yeah, know how you listen and know that you've got a lot. And we have so many online resources now, Mary.
Yes, we do.
I know I love Positive Ed, but there's a lot. There's Learn to Groom Dogs, which is, I want to say, Melissa Verplank. They're super, oh, sorry, Jay and Sue. My tongue just went twisty. Super styling sessions with Sue Zecco and Jay Scruggs. Like, and off the top of my head. Mary, you're one of the big three in positive education. It's those two and positive ed. I know a lot of schools are online now, so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to get some classes from a school online.
Yeah.
I know Stephanie has the meditative, Stephanie Calhoun has the meditative academy in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And she offers online programs as well.
And also, I think a lot of the trade shows are starting to do things. Dude, there's no water in there. I hear you. You'll get some shortly. As he's upending the metal dish. I know a lot of trade shows are starting to offer like an online package, either as part of another package or separately, where certain of the classes are recorded and presented online for people who either can't take it or can't get there, can't get to all the classes because it's impossible to get to all of the classes, or just want to review.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fun option. But as we're wrapping it up, Mary, I got a new toy to play with.
What did you get, Chris?
I finally got my hands on a groomer's wall.
Oh, okay. Okay, and this is just a plug again for going to trade shows. There are so many things. I'm retired for 5 years, and I'm like really pissed that these people are coming up with stuff that really could have made my life a whole lot easier back when I was grooming. And at one point, I'm like, yeah, this is why you go to trade shows, because, things change. But at the same thing, I'm like, damn it. You couldn't have developed this 10 years ago. And
Yeah. To handle it for the dryer. Yeah, I'm very happy to finally get my hands on a groomer's wall. I've been intending to like forever. And I am positive I just tried it out. I haven't used it. I'm definitely going to use it very soon with my little mutts, my blind deaf oodles, because the dryer doesn't bother them because, they're deaf. So they don't know but they also don't know what the hell is going on. And the whole wandering around and off the table is a problem. They'll wander all over the goddamn place. So I'm very much looking forward to like seeing how they react to that and going, okay, I can lean against this and just chill and be cool. What are you looking up, Mary? What?
you don't want to know.
Oh, good God. Mary had this concentrating look on her face. And I'm like, she's Googling some shit right now.
Yeah. We're going to just skip right over that.
Oh, I'm going to make her tell me in about 3 minutes, y'all. But yeah, I love getting my hands on new stuff. I talked about it in speaking of positive educational training, the Everything Shears and Beyond class, because I got to talk.
Really good class, by the way, Chris.
Thank you, Mary. I didn't go over, but I almost could have, so I know where I need to cut the videos. Like I know what I need to do to make it, because it's amazing. I went, oh, it's 2 hours. So I'll take my 1 hour scissor class and then I'll talk for another hour, 45 minutes about other tools, not fully realizing I could just talk for days about scissors.
Yeah.
Days, Mary. It's
too. So when Angie scheduled you, I'm thinking, wow. Sometimes lessons are best learned because you make the mistake. And I believe, was I after you? No, Aaron was after.
Was it Aaron or Andy?
Erin, I believe.
Okay.
Somebody was after
I
you.
thought it was Andy with the corrective grooming.
Oh, it might have been Andy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm thinking, you know what? She knows Chris.
Uh-huh.
Yet she scheduled her in the middle of the day rather than the end of the day. Let's see how this goes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But see, I am ornery enough that I knew that you were just laughing, and I'm like, oh, poor Angie. I also love Angie. I can't do this to her or Andy. So I like,
You had no problem doing it to me. Thank
that's
you.
because you always schedule me at the end of the day. So I'm like, no problem. No problem. Right?
Yeah. But that was because of lesson learned.
Oh, yes, but counterpoint.
Yes.
I may have also learned a lesson in not doing that.
Okay.
So I now make attempts to be better, except when I'm like, I'm the last one of the day. We're cool. I got an extra 15 minutes easy. It's just bonus material. It's just, they paid for an hour class, but they get an hour and 15 minutes. It's like bonus.
Okay.
But yes, I was exactly on time. I think no one was more relieved. No, Mary was probably shocked.
Yeah, because I was watching the time, and at some point I would have sent you a text. And
I wouldn't have seen it because I would have been focused.
Yeah, when I turned my camera on to say, hello, Chris.
Oh, that's true. That would have happened. That would have happened.
Okay.
But we learn that they're good technologies that we can also use, because when you put PowerPoint or a slide deck, the program is called PowerPoint. I don't care what the kids call it. When I'm using PowerPoint and you put it on presenter mode, a timer starts. Like there's a big clock at the top to help you keep track of time. So I used that. I relied on that heavily.
Okay. But it was a really good workshop.
Yay, thank you.
That. And also with that particular summit, Erin Schenk, who did her first, and Andy did her first
Andy
workshop.
did her first.
And I don't usually do two new speakers in one summit. But they both did really well. I really, especially enjoyed Erin's because it went in a direction that I wasn't expecting.
Okay, what was hers on?
Feet, face, and fanny.
Oh.
Yeah. Get a chance, watch it.
I'm going to, that's on my list for next week. That's on my list for next week, is to go through and watch all of those and catch up. Because this week, this is my to-do list for tonight through Monday. So it's not a little list. But all righty, we were going to stop recording so I can focus on the dog. Alex says I should be paying attention to him and throwing things for him. And it's about that time. So
hit that button.
I will hit that button, guys. Safe travels. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels.